Beef exports to Africa increased significantly in 2023, setting the stage as a key region for future growth in the new year. President and CEO of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, Dan Halstrom, joins us now with an outlook. Dan, good to have you with us, and Happy New Year to you. What makes Africa such a bright spot for the U.S. beef industry?
Well, thank you for the invitation to join you, Tammy. And I think it's a couple of things. The continental Africa itself, you're looking at a population base approaching 1.5 billion people, with growth prospects to be well over 2 billion in the near future. So that and an increasing middle and upper class within the continent represents spending power that is true and legitimate. And what we've seen so far is a lot of growth on the beef variety meat side, livers, kidneys, hearts, things like this. And it's primarily concentrated in South Africa. But it's fortunate that we have South Africa and some other markets, because our number one market globally for beef livers traditionally has been Egypt. And economically, they're really challenged at the moment. So diversifying away from there into South Africa, into places like Morocco, into places like Ghana, Gabon, Angola. This has really been a success story that not a lot of people are talking about.
Well, to your point, talk a little more about those prospects for further growth in exports to Africa.
Well, there's excellent potential to expand our base on the variety meat side, but the real opportunity long-term is beef muscle cuts, and pork for that matter as well at sometime in the future. But on the muscle cut side, we're working hard. A lot of these importers are buying variety meats, have the capability to buy muscle cuts as well. The supply chain is not established, not efficiently established like a lot of our markets around the world. So in addition to marketing our products, we have to help develop the supply chain with our suppliers on the U.S. side. And that we've had some success there. So I think if you look at it that way, there's a lot of potential going forward. Africa urban centers like Lagos, Nigeria, Luanda, Angola, these places remind me a lot of Mexico City in the 1980s. And what is Mexico today? One of our most reliable markets in the world, with almost $1 billion in sales of U.S. beef. So I don't think it's going to be too far in the future where some of these African centers really take center stage.
That sounds like good news. So what would be some of the biggest challenges facing U.S. beef in Africa?
Well, I think market access, both tariff and non-tariff trade barriers are definitely a challenge today. No better example than Nigeria. Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa, with about 220 million people in the country. And we don't have access other than some of the processed products, sausages in particular, but fresh beef is not eligible today. So that's a good example of I think some low-hanging fruit for some immediate business if we're able to get some legitimate market access. And, you look at another country, Kenya, we have access, but extremely high tariffs. So these are just two examples of some key markets where if we had a little bit of a break on the access side, something that's more reasonable, we could see significant incremental demand into the region.
Well, hopefully that all works out in 2024. We appreciate you. That's President and CEO of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, Dan Halstrom.